What's going on, guys? It's Lukani Suchikera. I hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day. It's time for another video. Before I get on with the video, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And please like the video if you or like all my videos if you like the content. Please push that thumbs up button, and then also please don't forget to push that notification bell so that every time I post a new video you get a notification and you are able to basically get the content as soon as I put it. And then also I would appreciate if you would comment on the videos in terms of what you think about the videos, and what you think of the thingy, in terms of what you think about the content that I'm posting on my channel. It would really massively help. I would love to have like a little bit of a debate with you guys, those who support. That would really be nice. So please, if you have any comments about the videos, please comment in the comment section, and then also I'll basically get to you as soon as I can. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so now going on with the video. Today I wanted to quickly chat about Man United. Now, I'm not doing this as a City fan with regards to I just want to I want to have some banter about Man United and all that stuff. Even though it's really nice having banter about Man United because their fans talk so much. Like, Man United fans are so entitled because their club won loads and loads of trophies in the 90s and the 2000s, up until 2013 when Sir Alex Ferguson left. They like talking smack so much, but they don't realize that they've basically fallen off a cliff, and they're now no longer what they they're no longer what they were used to be. They are no longer the Man United of old. When you face Manchester United, you go to Old Trafford, you're not actually scared to play them. You are looking forward to play them because it's one of the easiest games you're gonna have, because they're not going to put up a fight. Obviously, Man United fans hope that's gonna change under Erik ten Hag. I think Erik ten Hag is a good coach, as he showed at Ajax. Obviously, we can't really talk much about the league at Ajax with regards to the Eredivisie. That doesn't necessarily give us a good indication of whether he can be a good manager or not. But in the Champions League, he certainly showed that he is a good manager, because he made the semi-finals of the Champions League with his Ajax team, with when he had the likes of Frankie de Jong, Matthijs de Ligt, Donny van de Beek, and Hakim Ziyech. But now, basically, during his last years at Ajax Amsterdam, all those players had left. So the key components of no, sorry, there, I was just seeing a bird there. Sorry for that. But during his last years at Ajax, Amsterdam, the core group of players that he built his team, that he went to the semi-finals of the Champions League with, had already left. So Matthijs de Ligt joined Juventus, even though now he's joined Bayern Munich. And then Frankie de Jong went to Barcelona. He's being linked to Man United at the moment. And then Donny van de Beek also went to Man United. And Hakim Ziyech went to Chelsea. So the main the core of that team that he made that deep run to the Champions League with, the main talent of that team, they basically all left after they had made that deep run to the Champions League semi-final. So it might not come as a surprise with the fact that he's not been able to replicate that in recent years in terms of going deep in the Champions League again, because he lost all his players. The players that were coming from the academy, the players that they had recruited, that they made the semi-final of the Champions League with, that those players all left. Therefore, he had to build another squad, and he did build another squad because he did win another Eredivisie title. Some Dutch there, I guess. I don't actually even know what Eredivisie meant. I'll check that out. He did win another Eredivisie title, albeit it's not really competitive in the Eredivisie. It's only Ajax Amsterdam, PSV Eindhoven, and I think those are the only two clubs really that come to my mind when I think about the Eredivisie, because they're the ones who always win the league title there in Holland. So yes, Erik ten Hag did a good job there, especially we're using really a small sample size because we're really looking at what he did in the Champions League with Ajax, and he did very well there, and that's why he got that Man United job. So obviously he can do a good job for Man United fans, because they've been shambolic for quite a while now, to be honest. And that's not a dig, it's simply a fact. If you don't agree with that as a Man United fan, then you just you're trying to be in denial with yourself. So the club has really been shambles as of late. But I didn't want to talk about the decline of Man United at the moment or whatever. I mainly want to talk about the transfer activity of Man United in this transfer window. So in this summer transfer window, I want to talk about like the transfers that it looks like Man United are going to do, the links that like with regards to the players that they're linked with and all of that stuff. Now, this is not fake news that I'm going to talk about. Everything I talk about with regards to transfers, I only talk about facts. So I don't follow each and every journalist that kind of posts transfer news and believe that those news are true. As I said earlier in one of my earlier videos, I did tell you guys about Fabrizio Romano. There's a guy called Fabrizio Romano. He's like, his name is Fabrizio. It's Fabrizio. It was just Fabrizio, like with a Z, but he's called Fabrizio Romano. So that guy is the guy that I listen to with regards to transfer news, because he doesn't spread fake news. Everything he says is factual. And then also the other guy that I talked about who works for the Athletic, he also works for CNBC, I think, in the which is an American media company. But that guy, he's called David Ornstein. Those are the guys that I mainly listen to with regards to transfer news, because those guys don't spread fake news. They only speak facts. So that's why I only listen to them really with regards to the transfer news. So in the past 2 days, Man United have been linked with Marko Arnautovic, who used to play for West Ham, and then they're also linked with Adrian Rabiot, who's currently a Juventus player, but Juventus don't actually want him at their club. They actually want him to go. But obviously, it's not easy to get rid of a player who's under contract, because he still has a year left on his contract. And if Juventus want to get rid of him, they have to terminate the contract with Rabiot, meaning they have to pay him off. So I don't know what he's on with regards to his wages, but if Juventus wanted to terminate his contract, they have to pay him off all of that money for this upcoming season, even though he's not going to play, because it's a contract. That's how contracts work. I'm sure most of you would know. So really, like, what has gone wrong with Man United? Why are they being like? The reason why I mainly want to talk about this is because, not that I feel like Rabiot is a bad player or anything like that, because like Rabiot has worked with some top coaches, because he was at PSG and he did play quite a lot under Thomas Tuchel, under Carlo Ancelotti, and who are these guys who worked for PSG? And Unai Emery. Even though some of you might not rate Unai Emery, I feel like he did a good job at Arsenal, and he's also done a good job at Villarreal, because he made the semi-finals last year of the Champions League with Villarreal, knocking out Bayern Munich, which was a big achievement for Villarreal, because they don't even spend that much money. Because I don't think they actually even spent at least 50 million in the last transfer window, like last year. So it was a big achievement by Unai Emery to actually make the semi-finals of the Champions League without spending a lot of money. So what I'm trying to say is that there are quite a lot of coaches who've given Rabiot a chance and who've actually given him a run of games on their teams. As he also has 25 caps for France, the France national team, under Didier Deschamps, the guy who basically coached them to the World Cup back in 2018. So clearly there's a player in Rabiot, because if he was shocking and he didn't have quality, then these top level coaches would not play him. It's like the same thing. This is the same thing about Pogba. You can't necessarily say Pogba doesn't have quality, even though he's not showed it a lot, especially when he was playing at Man United. He's not showed it a lot on the football pitch, but he plays for France, and France are the current world champions. Didier Deschamps always picks Pogba. So surely he sees something in Pogba that goes, ooh, that guy's a good player. So I'm not having a dig at Rabiot here with regards to his level of play, whatever. I don't actually even watch Juventus, so I don't know the type of player that Rabiot is. And he's still at a relatively good age, because he's 27. But I just think the profile of the player is the thing that springs to mind, especially when he's being linked with Man United. And when I say the profile of the player is because Rabiot's agent, who is his mom, she's called Veronique Rabiot. She's quite a handful, to say the least, and she gets involved in the media quite a bit, and she likes kind of lashing out at people, and her personality is questionable at best. I guess that's what you can say. I think there's a story that I heard this from Julien Laurent. It's called Julien Laurent. Is it Lawrence or whatever? I forgot how to pronounce the surname of the guy. He's a French guy who works for ESPN. He also works for the Premier League and all that stuff. He's like a media guy, but he mainly works for ESPN FC, and he's part of ESPN FC, which is a show of ESPN. So he mainly works for ESPN. So that guy, He's a resourceful guy. He's also a French guy. And Rabiot did not grow up in France, far away from where Julien Laurens grew up from. So Jules, he's called Jules basically. I'll just call him Julien because I don't want to keep missing his surname. But like Jules, actually, like he knows Rabiot quite a lot because they basically grew up in the same area. Now, Jules was thingy. He was thingy. He said there's a story like about Rabiot's mom. In that like the agent basically because his mom is his agent. So she lashed out at Mbappe's mom and Pogba's mom after the Euros. So the men's Euros last year, it was called Euro 2020, even though it was in 2021. It was postponed because of COVID, I'm sure you know. But France were not good in that tournament, and they were knocked out quite early in the tournament. So Rabiot's mom was lashing out at Pogba's mom and Mbappe's mom, and she was basically telling them that they should they should reprimand their sons because they didn't play well for the French national team at the Euros. I mean, yes, she's a French citizen or whatever, and she deserves to have an opinion about the French national team, but for that message to come out of Rabiot's mom, who is also part of the squad, I think that's a little bit of a problem. Like, are you telling me that if Rabiot is playing for a certain club and his mom is not happy with a certain player's performance, if she knows that player's mom, she's going to start like kind of lashing out at that player's mom and telling that player's mom to tell her son that they should do better or whatever. Like, that's, for me, that sounds like a problem that you don't need. And also, his personality is questionable because like there's quite a few rumblings on the media about him with regards to stirring up trouble in the dressing room. He's not really popular in the dressing rooms that he's been a part of, and whenever he kind of gets in a thing, he kind of gets in a dispute with a club, it really turns sour. Like when he left PSG, he left on very bad terms there. Like he was not playing anymore. He was training with the under-23s, I think. He kind of fell out with Tuchel when he was coaching there. It was because of his attitude problems and all of that stuff. So for me, sorry for that, my ear was itching a little bit. But like, for me, it just like, it sounds like the profile of Rabiot, like his personality, I don't think it suits what Manchester United need. Like Manchester United for the last 4 or 5 years, they've had a problem with personalities in their dressing room. Pogba has been criticized heavily by the English media and by ex-Man United legends with regards to his personality, with regards to the trouble he stirs up with the club in terms of making comments about the club in the media, saying that like he doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like he wants to stay at Man United because the club is not challenging and all of that stuff, instead of just like basically getting on with the work and working hard for the team and all that stuff, kind of talking about the club on the media. I feel like, even though I'm not a Manchester United fan, so like I'm not really like this. I don't have any dog in the fight here. Like it doesn't really affect me because I don't necessarily care about what happens at Man United. But I just think it's a bit of it's a bit shambolic that they're going for a player whose character has been questioned before. Manchester United is a club that desperately needs characters at the moment. They don't need people who are going to stir up trouble in the dressing room. Yet they're looking for a player who has a track record of being a problem in the dressing room. So I think the scouting is a little bit shambolic in my opinion. It's a little bit it's like amateur. It's the scouting department of Manchester United is a little bit amateur. Sorry guys, man. My video was kind of cut off there. Struggling with space on my phone. I forgot to delete the other videos that I've already posted, so my video was just cut off because of space. So I was also saying like about Man United and that I think their scouting department and their scouting system is a little bit shocking in my opinion. Like it's shocking in my opinion, and it's shambolic for a club the size of Manchester United because it just like it's schoolboy errors, it's amateur errors, to be honest, in terms of like you look for the profile, like you look at the profile of a player before you go for a player, and they're kind of contradicting what they were saying that they're going to do in terms of trying to change the culture of the club and all of that stuff by looking for players. And Rabiot might be a success at Manchester United. We don't know that. Like I don't know that, but I just think because of his track record, if I was a Man United fan, I wouldn't be as comfortable with regards to getting Rabiot into the club because it just doesn't seem like he's the right character that they need at this moment in time. And then the whole thing, if we go away from Rabiot a little bit about Arnautovic, them being linked with Arnautovic. Again, I think the sources with this, again, As I said, I got this, and I think I just saw from Fabrizio Romano at the moment saying that the deal is off between Manchester United and Bologna with regards to Marko Arnautovic. But the fact that they were on for him says a lot about the club in terms of what I'm saying again, amateur errors. Why are they looking at a 33-year-old who is a West Ham reject? He's a China reject because he played for West Ham. David Moyes didn't want him there because of his attitude problems and the problems that he was causing in the dressing room and all of that stuff. He went to China and then he came back from China, and I think he went to Bologna last season, which he did pretty well there because I think he had 14 goals in Serie A. But again, why are they looking at a player who has a track record of not being good enough? Like, why are they, like, again, the profile of the player does not suit what the club actually want to do, or what the club says they want to do. They're kind of going against everything that they're saying in terms of trying to change the culture of the club, trying to have characters in the dressing room and all of that stuff. So I think really it's there's obviously massive problems with Manchester United. I don't need to highlight that. The fact that they haven't won a trophy since 2017, they haven't won a league title since 2013, highlights the fact that there's big problems there because it's a big football club and Man United always win. Like, that's the philosophy of the club, even though at the moment they're not winning. Obviously, that's because there's big problems with the club, with the ownership and all of that stuff, because the ownership don't have the right people in the right positions in order to do the jobs that, like, of scouting, of a director of football, those kinds of jobs that make a club elite. The club is not well run. They have all the money, but because they're not well run, they just spend money instead of effectively investing money with the players that they need in order to be successful. Like, Man United have triple probably the money that Liverpool have, but Liverpool have had more success in recent years than Manchester United. That tells you all you need to know in terms of not having the right people in the right positions to do the jobs of scouting, to do the jobs of being a director of football. Like, Phil Jones at Man United got a contract, I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. He actually got a contract, I think it was a 3-year extension, but the guy actually never plays for Man United. So why is he being given a new contract? Like, I just think things that the club does really, they're questionable. Like, it's amateur errors of, like, it's like you have kids running a business basically, whereby everything goes at the club. It's kind of a circus act. There's nothing kind of like, the only reason why they win some games is because obviously they have top players. They're still Man United and they still have like people like Ronaldo and all of that stuff. But really, in terms of where the club want to be, it's hard to see them get there because of the way they run. Like, if you don't even have an effective scouting system, how can you improve? Even Arsenal look like they're better than Man United at the moment in terms of the quality on the football pitch. Tottenham, in terms of the quality of the football pitch. And again, I'm saying those clubs spend less than Man United because they have less money than Man United because of the football brands that they are. But because they have the right people in the right positions, they have the right coach. Even though I think Ten Hag is a good coach that they've hired at the moment, but they have the right director of football, they have the right scouting system in terms of scouting the players that they want. Whereas Man United, it's like the thing I was talking about in the video I made about the weekend review yesterday. I made the video about the weekend review. Man United were playing Brighton Sunday and they lost 2-1. And the best midfield player on the pitch was Caicedo for Brighton. He basically was involved in everything. He was linking up the players, he was making tackles and all of that stuff. And Brighton probably bought that guy for less than 10 million. Less than 10 million pounds. I'm pretty sure I'll bet my house on it, that even though I don't have a house. But I'd bet all my money on the fact that Brighton, because I'm not sure about this, but Brighton paid less than 10 million pounds for that guy. Man United paid 50 million for Fred. But that guy is better than Fred. At least he can pick a pass. Fred couldn't even pick a pass. Yes, he works hard. Yes, he is aggressive and all of that stuff. But he's not good enough to be a player of Manchester United. He's not good enough to be a player of like the top 4 clubs or the top 6 clubs in England. Because I could basically, for Arsenal, Thomas Partey is better than him. For Liverpool, Fabinho is better than him. For City, Rodri is better than him. For Chelsea, Kante is better than him. For West Ham, Declan Rice is better than him. And for Tottenham, Højbjerg or Bissouma is better than him. So basically, the top 6 clubs in England in terms of their midfield players, all of them are better than Fred. Whereas you could argue that Man United are the biggest of all those clubs in terms of the size of the football club and in terms of the amount of revenue that they generate every year from commercial dealings and all of that stuff. Because Man United make a lot of money commercially because they're supported all around the world. So honestly, it's a worrying thing when you really look at it. And it's like it's shambolic, to be honest. It's shocking. It's just not good enough, to be honest. Um, but yeah, I just want to talk about those dealings with regards to Man United and the transfer activity that they're trying to make. Obviously, the Frankie De Jong situation is another situation on its own. Like, I don't actually know what's going on with the Frankie De Jong situation because, according to Fabrizio Romano, the guy that I was talking about in terms of transfer news, a deal is in place between Man United and Barcelona with regards to Frankie De Jong. Because Frank, like, basically, he said that they've agreed a fee of 75 million euros upfront. So Man United are going to pay Barcelona 75 million euros upfront, and then there's 10 millions, I think, in add-ons on that thingy. To take the whole package to 85 million euros. Obviously, the add-ons depend on performance-related bonuses and all of that stuff with regards to De Jong at Man United. So I feel like even though all the crap that Laporta, the Barcelona thingy, the Barcelona president puts out on social media and that they want to keep De Jong and all of that stuff, it's a lot of bullshit, to be honest. It's a lot of crap because he has agreed a fee with Man United to sell Frankie De Jong. Just that I think that with regards to what I'm hearing is that Frankie De Jong is not necessarily keen on going to Manchester United because they're not in the Champions League, because they're not competing for any titles. So he'd rather stay at Barcelona, also because of the lifestyle at Barcelona, instead of going to Manchester where it's like cold for 9 months of the year or for 8 months of the year. Like he would rather stay at Barcelona because Barcelona is coastal in Spain. Spain is a hotter country. Like it's not as cold as England in terms of like the whole summer and all that stuff. Even though I'm not necessarily sure with regards to how it works in terms of summer and all that stuff. I know summer is like right now there, but I know in England that for 8 months of the year, minimum, it's going to be cold. And then like summer is only like 3-4 months basically. So like what I'm hearing is that Frankie De Jong is not necessarily keen at leaving Barcelona and going to Manchester United. But obviously, Barcelona want to sell him because they need to release his wages off their books in order to register the players that they've signed this summer because of the whole La Liga financial fair play rules and all of that stuff. But I think there's a dispute with regards to Frankie De Jong's contract because Frankie De Jong deferred his wages, I think, totaling 17 million euros. So when I say he deferred his wages, he basically gave Barcelona an allowance of not giving him his wages so that they could sort out their financial problems during the COVID pandemic. And then they said they're going to pay him at a later stage. So he basically said, okay, it's fine. You don't have to pay me for now, but you're going to pay me later, my 17 million euros. Now, I think there's a dispute between Barcelona and Frankie De Jong, and they don't want to pay him that 17 million euros. They just want him to leave to Manchester United without getting paid that money. And Frankie De Jong is he's basically standing his ground, and he's saying that he wants his money. He's not going to leave and all of that stuff. I'm not necessarily sure if that's the case, or whether it's the fact that Frankie De Jong doesn't want to go to Manchester United because they're not competing in the Champions League. So it's a whole transfer saga that has been going on, I think, for 2 months now. So that's why I don't really want to talk much about it because it's a little bit like it's at a standstill at the moment. Obviously, we'll see what happens at the end of the transfer window. But yeah, that's a video about Man United. That's really what I wanted to talk about today. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. It really massively helps. And also, please push that thumbs up button if you like the video. And that support also really massively helps. And please push that notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As you can see together. I'll catch you later.